The first thing I heard at my mom's funeral was my stepmom's whisper. Not crying, not praying, not saying goodbye. She leaned close to my dad's ear, right beside my mother's coffin, and said in a low, cold voice, "One enemy left." I was standing right behind them. I heard every word. My heart stopped. I looked at my dad, and I saw his face. He didn't look shocked. He didn't look confused. He didn't look angry. He looked guilty, like someone who had just been exposed, like someone whose secret had been dragged into the light. His eyes met mine for half a second. Then he looked away. Fast. Like he was scared I had seen too much. My knees almost gave out. My hands started shaking. My mom's body was right there in front of us. Flowers everywhere. People crying. Soft music playing. And my stepmom was talking about enemies. And my dad was acting like he knew exactly what she meant. In that moment, I realized something terrible. My mother didn't just die. Something was taken from her. And maybe for me too. If you're feeling this shock right now, if your heart is beating fast like mine did that day, please stay with me. Like this story. Watch till the end. Subscribe for more real stories like this. Because what I'm about to tell you still hurts me to remember. My name is Lily Parker. I was 16 years old when my mom died. We lived in a small town near Columbus, Ohio. Nothing fancy. Just quiet streets, old houses, and people who knew each other's names. My mom, Sarah Parker, was the kindest person I knew. She worked as a nurse at Riverside Hospital. She woke up at 5 every morning. She packed my lunch. She left me little notes in my bag that said, "I love you, baby. Have a great day." Every single day. Even when she was tired. Even when she was sick. Even when my dad was cold to her. My dad, Mark Parker, used to be different. When I was little, he was my hero. He taught me how to ride a bike. He took me for ice cream. He used to carry me on his shoulders at football games. But when I turned 12, he changed. He started coming home late. He stopped smiling. He stopped talking. He started yelling. Mostly at my mom. About money. About food. About nothing. Then one day, he brought home another woman. Her name was Rebecca. My stepmom. She was tall. Always dressed nice. Always wearing red lipstick. Always smiling, but not with her eyes. Her smile felt fake. Like a mask. Dad said, "She's just a friend." Mom said nothing. But I saw her crying in the bathroom at night. 2 months later, Dad moved out. He left us. He left my mom and me in that old house. A year later, he married Rebecca. Just like that. No apology. No explanation. My mom never spoke badly about him. Never. She said, "Your father is still your father. Love him." So I did. I tried. Even when Rebecca ignored me. Even when she called me that girl instead of my name. Even when she told Dad lies about me. Life became harder. Mom worked extra shifts. She was always tired. But she still smiled for me. Then last year she got sick. Very sick. She started losing weight. She started coughing. She started fainting. The doctor said it was cancer. Late stage. I didn't even know what that meant. I just knew it sounded like death. We fought. We prayed. We hoped. But hope wasn't enough. 3 months later, she was gone. Just like that. I held her hand when she took her last breath. She whispered, "Be strong, Lily." Then she closed her eyes. Forever. The funeral was held at Grace Memorial Church. White walls. Blue windows. Wooden benches. The place smelled like flowers and sadness. Everyone came. Nurses. Neighbors. Teachers. My friends from school. Even my dad. And Rebecca. They sat in the front row. Right next to the coffin. I stood behind them. Because I didn't want to sit. My legs were weak. My heart was broken. And then it happened. Rebecca leaned close to Dad. Her hand touched his arm. She smiled. And whispered, "One enemy left." My dad froze. His mouth opened a little. His face turned pale. Then he slowly nodded. Like he agreed. Like he understood. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab her. I wanted to ask, "What do you mean?" But my voice was gone. After the funeral, people hugged me. They said, "Your mom was amazing. She's in heaven. Be strong." But I felt empty. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing her voice. One enemy left. One enemy left. Enemy? Who was the first one? My mom? Was she the first? My mind was racing. The next morning, I went to school. I tried to act normal, but I couldn't focus. In class, my phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. It said, "Stop asking questions, or you'll regret it." My heart dropped. I stared at the screen. My hands were cold. I hadn't told anyone. I hadn't asked anyone. So how did they know? Another message came. "You should be grateful you're still alive." I felt sick. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. After school, I went home. Mom's house felt empty. Too quiet. I walked into her room. Her bed was still made. Her perfume still on the dresser. I sat on the floor and cried. Then I heard a noise. A drawer opening. In the living room. Someone was inside my house. I slowly stood up. My heart was pounding. I grabbed the nearest thing I could find. A lamp. I walked toward the sound. Step by step. Slow. Scared. And when I reached the living room, I saw my dad, standing by Mom's cabinet, holding her important papers, with Rebecca beside him, going through everything, like thieves, in my own home. And when they saw me, Rebecca smiled and said, "Oh, you weren't supposed to be here." Then my dad dropped the papers, and the police walked in behind them, with handcuffs, and my name on their warrant. I was being arrested for a crime I didn't commit. The cold metal of the handcuffs snapped around my wrists. Click, click. The sound was loud, too loud. Everyone in the room heard it, even the walls. I stood there, frozen, my hands behind my back, my heart beating like a drum in my chest. I didn't do anything, I whispered. My voice sounded small, like a little girl's. One of the police officers, a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes, looked at me. "Lily Parker," he said, reading from his paper. "You are under arrest for fraud and theft." Fraud. Theft. I didn't even understand the words. "I don't steal," I cried. "That's my mom's house. Those are her things." Rebecca crossed her arms. She shook her head slowly, like she was disappointed in me. "Oh, Lily," she said softly, "why would you do this to yourself?" My dad wouldn't look at me, not even once. He stared at the floor, like I wasn't his daughter, like I was a stranger. They walked me outside. Neighbors stood on their porches, watching, whispering, pointing. Some took pictures with their phones. My face burned with shame. I wanted to disappear. They put me in the back of the police car. The door slammed. Boom. I was alone. I cried all the way to the station. When we arrived, they took my fingerprints. They took my picture. They took my phone. They took everything. Then they put me in a small gray room. A bench. A camera. A bad smell. I sat there for hours. No food. No water. No answers. Finally, a woman officer came in. Her name was Officer Miller. She sat across from me. "Lily," she said gently, "your father and stepmother reported that you stole important financial documents and tried to change property records." I stared at her. "What?" I shouted. "I don't even know how to do that." She sighed. "They say you accessed your mother's files and tried to transfer her assets." Assets. Another big word. "I just loved my mom," I cried. "That's all I did." That night, they sent me to juvenile detention, a place for kids in trouble. The walls were gray. The beds were hard. The lights never turned off. Girls cried at night. Some yelled. Some laughed like they were crazy. I lay on my bed and hugged my knees. I missed my mom. I missed her voice. I missed feeling safe. The next day, a lawyer came. Her name was Ms. Carter. She had short hair and tired eyes. "I'm your public defender," she said. I'll help you. I wanted to believe her. She showed me the papers. My name. My signature. On forms I had never seen. They said I tried to move my mom's house into my name. And sell it. Before probate was done. Before court approval. That's fake, I said. That's not my handwriting. She nodded slowly. I believe you, she said. But belief is not proof. My first court day came fast. Too fast. I wore an orange jumpsuit. My hands shook. When I walked into the courtroom, I saw them. My dad, Rebecca, sitting together, holding hands, like a happy couple. The judge was a woman with glasses. She looked serious. Lily Parker, she said. How do you plead? Not guilty, I whispered. Rebecca stood up. She wiped fake tears. Your Honor, she said. We loved Lily. We trusted her. After her mother died, she changed. She became angry, greedy. My heart broke. That was a lie. A big lie. My dad stood up next. He cleared his throat. My daughter has been troubled, he said. She made bad choices. Bad choices? He was calling me a criminal. The judge looked at me. Bail is denied, she said. Remanded to juvenile custody. Just like that. I was sent back. Weeks passed. Then months. School was inside the center. Food was bad. People were mean. Some girls bullied me. They called me rich girl thief. One night I got a letter. No return address. Inside one sentence. You were never supposed to survive this long. My blood turned cold. Then another letter came. We finished your mother. You're next. I showed Miss Carter. Her face changed. This is serious, she said. We need to dig deeper. She started asking questions. About my mom. About her job. About her insurance. About my dad's finances. One day, she came back with wide eyes. Lily, she whispered, your mother changed her will 2 weeks before she died. My heart jumped. She left everything to you. Everything. The house. The savings. The insurance. All of it. Nothing to my dad. Nothing to Rebecca. And someone had replaced it. With a fake one. Naming them instead. That night, before I could even understand what that meant, 2 guards came to my cell. They said, pack up. You're being transferred. I smiled. I thought I was going home. I was wrong. They were taking me somewhere much worse. And on the bus, I saw Rebecca's car following us. The bus windows were dirty. So dirty I could barely see outside. But I knew that car. I would know it anywhere. Black SUV. Tinted windows. Small crack on the backlight. Rebecca's car. It followed us. 1 turn. 2 turns. 3 turns. Still there. My stomach twisted. I pressed my forehead to the glass. Why are they following us? I whispered. No one answered. The guard in front didn't even look back. We drove for almost 3 hours. Far away from my town. Far away from anyone who knew me. Far away from help. Finally, we stopped. A big metal gate opened slowly. Creak. Tall fences. Barbed wire on top. Cameras everywhere. A sign said, Hawthorne Youth Correctional Center. My heart sank. This wasn't normal detention. This was where bad kids went. The kind people forgot. They took my name, my clothes, my shoes. They gave me gray pants and a white shirt. No mirrors. No phones. No privacy. My room was small. A bed. A toilet. A sink. That was it. My roommate was a girl named Jasmine. She was 17. Tall. Quiet. A scar on her eyebrow. She looked at me and said, You look scared. I am, I answered. She nodded. Good. Means you're still human. The first week was hell. Wake up at 5 a.m. Cold showers. Hard chores. No talking. If you talked, you lost food. If you cried, they laughed. At night, I dreamed of my mom. Every night. She stood far away, reaching for me, but I could never touch her. One evening, Jasmine whispered, Why are you here? I told her everything. about my mom, about the funeral, about Rebecca, about my dad, about the fake papers, about the letters. When I finished, she was quiet. Then she said, "My uncle is a hacker." I blinked. What? He works with computers, she said. He helps wrong people get free. I leaned closer. Can he help me? Maybe, she said, but it's dangerous. I don't care, I whispered. I'm already dying in here. 2 weeks later, during visiting hours, Jasmine's aunt came. She slipped me a small note, hidden in a napkin. It said, email, truthfinder24@protonmail.com. That night, in the computer room for schoolwork, I typed the address. My hands shook. I wrote everything. Every detail. Every name. 2 days later, I got a reply. Your mother's hospital records were altered. My heart jumped. By who? I wrote. By someone with legal access, he replied. Your father. I felt sick. Another message came. Your mother discovered financial fraud at her hospital. She planned to report it. Your father and Rebecca were involved. My head spun. Fraud. Money. Insurance. Everything connected. She changed her will because she knew, he wrote. She knew they would kill her. Kill her. The word burned into my mind. Tears fell on the keyboard. She was poisoned slowly, he wrote, in her medication. I couldn't breathe. My mom. They did this. My own father. The man who taught me to ride a bike. The man who kissed my forehead at night. He killed her. And framed me. I covered my mouth to stop myself from screaming. Can you prove it? I typed. Yes, he replied. I'm collecting files. Bank transfers. Deleted emails. Hospital logs. But then, everything went dark. The computer shut off. Lights out. A guard shouted. Back to rooms. That night, I couldn't sleep. I felt eyes on me. Around midnight, my door opened. Slowly, a shadow entered. I sat up, my heart racing. A voice whispered, "You should have stayed quiet." Before I could scream, something sharp stabbed my arm. I felt fire in my veins. Then darkness. When I woke up, I was in the infirmary. A nurse stood over me. She smiled, and I recognized her. She used to work with my mom. She leaned close and whispered, "Your mother begged me to protect you." Then she slipped something into my hand, a tiny flash drive, and said, "They know you're close to the truth." Then the door opened, and standing there was my father, smiling, with a judge beside him. My father stood in the doorway. Next to him was Judge William Harris, a tall man, gray hair, cold eyes, the kind of eyes that never smiled. They both looked at me like I was nothing, like I was already gone. Rebecca stood behind them, wearing a soft pink dress, smiling, like this was a happy day. "Lily," my dad said gently, "how are you feeling?" I said nothing. My hand was shaking. Inside my fist was the flash drive. I hid it under the blanket. "I heard you fainted," he added. "We were worried." Worried. The word almost made me laugh. Judge Harris cleared his throat. "Lily," he said, "we are reviewing your case. If you cooperate, things can go easier for you. Sign a confession. Admit you forged the papers. And you can go home soon." Go home? To what? To lies? To killers? "No," I whispered. Rebecca's smile disappeared. Her eyes turned dark. "You ungrateful girl," she snapped. "We saved you." "Saved me?" "You destroyed my life," I said. My voice was weak, but my heart was strong. That night, Jasmine helped me. She stood watch, while I used the old computer. I copied everything from the flash drive. Emails, bank records, hospital logs, video clips, messages between my dad and Rebecca, talking about money, talking about poison, talking about finishing her. I sent everything to Ms. Carter, the police, the state prosecutor, 3 news stations, and the FBI tip line. Then I waited. 3 days later, everything exploded. Police cars filled the center. News vans outside. Guards whispering. Phones ringing. They took my dad first. In handcuffs. He was screaming. It's a lie. Rebecca fainted. Judge Harris tried to leave the state. They arrested him at the airport. On TV, I saw everything. Local businessman and judge arrested in murder-for-profit scheme. Teen girl cleared of all charges. Mother's death ruled homicide. In court, they played the recordings. My dad's voice. She knows too much. Rebecca's voice. Just increase the dose. The jury cried. I cried. The judge cried. My dad was sentenced to life in prison. Rebecca got 45 years. Judge Harris lost everything. My name was cleared. My record erased. I went home. To my mom's house. The sun came through the windows again. I cleaned her room. I planted flowers in the yard. I finished high school. I went to college. I studied law. Because no child should ever feel as helpless as I did. Today, I stand at my mom's grave. Every year. And I whisper, I won, Mom. But I didn't become like them. I learned something. Revenge is not about hurting back. It is about standing in truth. About patience. About courage. About never giving up. If you're watching this, and you feel alone, and someone is trying to break you, please remember my story. Don't stay silent. Don't give up. Truth always finds light. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it, because somewhere, another Lily needs to hear this. And no, she can win too.